See if that works. It comes up with my splash screen every time.
Yeah, it did that to me one time too. Like 4 or 5 times, and finally, I don't know if I just gave up for the night or yeah.
Can they hear me? I don't know.
Let me turn on your volume here and see if there's.
I have no idea what's going on. Now it says it's offline again.
I have no volume at all on my end. No, no sound on your site.
It says everybody's hosting me, but I have a black screen. Oh, there we go. Whoops. Advertisement. I think it's coming. All right. We'll see what happens here. Once it gets through my advertisement, I should be good. I don't know what's up with Twitch. They're crazy. They're driving me nuts. All right. So, just so you, where we left off, uh, before it crashes again, this is our cogen factory, and there's a tree inside it. I could see that now. I could see it sticking out of the roof. Like I said, I was just putting stuff in, and it was all done in the last few days, just clearing lots, and we'll tidy everything up. It's going to have to be tested. This map won't be released for quite some time. We're going to get everything in, and we're going to get these guys, make sure they test everything before we give it to you, because there's going to be so much involved. So, as we're going around, basically the steps are going to be finish up getting the factories and all the products in. Then we have to get the new sell points and the vehicles done for the map for moving stuff around. And we have to update all the farms and the storage and the warehouse facilities. And then we're going to make sure all of that is tested well, and then we'll get it out to you guys. So it's going to be a little while. But it's going to be awesome when it's done. So hang in there. I'm not going to put a time frame on it because you never know when something comes up that just takes a little bit longer than you expected. But we're going to head down this way to. Also, another fact, I got to switch over a couple of the factories in here, get them on the system so they're all in the menus. Uh, I'd like to see the pallet factory in the menu as well. So right over here, and this is another thing that has to be done, is the doors have to be switched to the new script, but this is the drywall facility. We can drive through the doors right now because they're not hooked up, but drywall will be right here. So I think I got about a week's worth of work just getting all these little things hooked up correctly. Uh, Most of this week was just importing them and getting the I got a few of the scripts running, but getting everything so that it is in place. Clearing trees. I must have deleted about 5,000 trees around here to get all this stuff in. And there's still more to come in. Not sure how much more, but we're going to get the last three before I tidy all these up. And then we'll go from there and see if we're going to bring back any of the other factories. It all depends on how the animals work with the animal. If the animal triggers will take, it's going to be a simple test. I'll bring in the butcher shop and see if I can drop off cows at least or pigs to it. And if the trigger doesn't take them, then we might have to do something or leave that out completely. So down this road we have, and thank you for the host there, I am Total, and everybody else. We're going around the map. Not a lot looks changed, really. It's the same map, just with more stuff. So off the side here, we have our hops and props building. which is a drive-through. You can drive right through. So that one is right there up in the northwest corner, and with the Pepsi factory right across the street from it. And I got to remove that light post. You can see it's right in the middle of the roadway, but we will get that taken care of too. And Pepsi factory is right here. And if you notice, a lot of the boxes aren't here for where to dump. That's because we're going to put them in so you can toggle them on and off on all the factories as well. So there's a lot of little touch-up things that have to be done, and it's going to probably take at least most of this week, if not some of next, to get all those little details. All these boxes that are still here are going to be replaced with the ones so that when you toggle them on and off, they disappear, reappear. So you have the choice to leave them on or off. And that's the Pepsi factory. Down next to that, we have the Heartland bread, which actually is almost ready. The only reason why this factory isn't running is because we don't have eggs yet. And if I can't get eggs, we'll pull it out of the recipe and then it'll be up and running. So that one is right here. And there's a road that goes out the back to nowhere currently, just up to the railroad track, which is another thing. I'm trying to look at a way, possibly, I have to do tests with that to see if we can put some of these products or load them into train carts. Either we got to get a pallet train cart or a box trailer train cart. Probably the box would be relatively simple to do, and then put box goods on that. We'll find that out eventually. But it would be nice to be able to utilize some of the train rails on the map for the additional products. Do you need to buy licenses for the new Hunter game? No, right now the new Hunter Call of the Wild is a pay once and play. I'm sure they'll have lots of DLCs, but you don't have to buy licenses for it. To be honest with you, I've played it a little bit. I It's not that it's a little buggy for me still yet. With the animals, I shot a doe 3 times and it didn't fall down, and I thought it was dead, and I walked up and it bit me. But also when I shot it, the other animals don't scatter like they should when they hear a gunshot. So little things like that have driven me crazy. But I'll tell you what it has done. I have played some of the old Hunter again. It got me back in the mood to do a little bit of the old one. So I've been doing that a little bit, and every now and then checking in with the other one. I think I did more that night last week when you guys were here than I've done at I think I have like 15 hours in the thing. That's about it so far. I played it a little bit when my daughter was here after she went to bed for a few hours here or there, but not much really at all. Yeah, doe bit me. So we're coming down this side. We have the textile factory right next to the birdseed factory down here in this corner. And we will have to bring our pallets, hemp, cotton, and wool to our textile factory. And the birdseed is right next door. Also, back this way, we'll go back up here. We'll check out. Now, I have so much to figure out yet. I don't know how the new triggers work, whether they will work on the train rails or not. Let's go up a little further. Next road. So some of these products might not be able to be sold off by train if they're not. Well, all that's still up in the air, but we'll work around it and make it work the best way we can. Down here is where the main warehouse and everything shipping center is going to be. And if you notice, I have expanded this lot tremendously. I left the one garage that I showed you guys last week, but this lot is huge now because I'd like to have garage, not only the warehouse down here, we'll see, the warehouse is pretty big, it might take up most of this room, but it'd be nice to get some tractors for semis and some other storage options in here as well. One thing that Lars on our server had mentioned that these vehicle garages, when you park in the garages or the hangars, it takes your vehicle off the map and you don't have to pay the maintenance fees. So that's going to be kind of cool and give you another reason to park your vehicles in the garages when we get them all in. Right now, you'll see some of them floating in the air because they're in the map. They're just not placed where I want them yet. Yeah, the 1.4. Oh, yeah, the external accounts waiting on that. So up here on the hill, we have on the left hand side the cement factory with the gates that swing out, but you'll be able to load your cement. Big Daddy, get me that cement mixer that we had. If the AR vehicle's working, I got to see if I can transfer that cement mixer over as well, because that's one thing that's the only one I have with the barrel. So, vehicles, special vehicles are going to be needed. We'll get something worked out. Either that or we'll be just hauling cement in bags. We're going to look into utilizing some of those extra things because we're not building factories. We don't necessarily need cement, so it'll either sell for a few extra dollars or we'll find another, or concrete, we'll find another use for it. You can see I put a shortcut road across there so you can get from one to the next. And then up here we have Sam Adams right here on the hill. I do have an issue with this, with the water plane that was in here. It right now has a shader error, so I took it out. I got to find another water plane shader. The shader that was on that water plane doesn't appear to exist for FS17. So we'll have to look into that and see what we can do. So, and the dairy. The dairy is in. We'll get the products added in, and then we will put the stop milk sale so and get a milk trailer so we can get the milk sales up here and our sour cream. And what else were we making? Cheese, I think. Yeah, our board and cheese and sour cream, and our milk sales go here up at the dairy. And don't hit the gates too fast. But actually, the factories I found fit in certain areas pretty nicely. I've been where they're placed is really based on, oh, butter. Maybe that, I don't know. Is it butter? I can't remember. Where they're placed is really based on where the different factory designs would fit as I was building, adding them in. Oh, which reminds me. Oh yeah, no, it's we didn't get to it yet. We are gonna get to it very soon. That one's in here as well, the soy milk factory. We're still going around. We are only, well, we got one more side of the map to go up. And there's several factories on that side as well. So we're going to swing over there and we'll show you those. Soy milk is definitely in, but I do not have the calcium carbonate yet with the stone crusher. That is on the list to go in this week for sure. And basically, the three you're not going to see today is the steel mill, the stone crusher, and what was the third one that I have? There was another one more that has to come in that is not here yet. But here we have our Kellogg's plant. So Kellogg's will be here. I do have to add the crops, rice, cranberry, and onion to the map as well. So they'll be coming in soon. And then it's on, once we get all that stuff wrapped up, we'll get on to the sell points and get those all nailed down. And then we'll work on the farms and getting them all up to date and the storage areas. And then do whatever tweaking we need, little fixes here and there, test it pretty well, make sure everything's running. So here's the Frito-Lay factory, and up behind Frito-Lay, we're going to go back to the old Shell fuel rather than the fuel making on the farms. I'm going to take those off just because the extra fabric script resources. I'd rather have it all done in one place. We will be bringing back the storage facility for fuel that you'll be able to load right up from as well. So that will take place relatively soon. I'm going to be deleting those out and switching back to this Shell refinery. Yeah, I always liked it as well. It's one of the nicer places. So it's right up here on the hill, overlooking the down below. Once we get all our sell points in and everything, we'll look at these areas that are blank and bring in some more trees and stuff. Actually, I'm thinking about because we can of building a road like a back road here from this fact the Shell refinery maybe down this side right here to this factory's back entrance because there's no fence over here. Either that or I'll build a fence all the way across. But we will see. You notice I'm destroying the grass as I drive because I have that turned on. You can turn that off very easily. And I shouldn't have grass on that hill. I painted it but didn't remove the grass. Yeah, not counting the ore and the salt and the stone and the coal. So those will be needed as well for running the factories. Let's see. I'm going to go down this way. You can loop around the other side either way, but I'm going to go back down this way because it's a better angle to come in from to show you guys. I think what might be one of the last places on the map. I do want to run that test again though and see if it was just bugged for a minute. See if I can get the ore to load up because I had no problem with it the other day. And I could check the error log, but because so many things aren't hooked up yet, we have a lot of warnings. Tons of warnings for field types not registered and not assigned, basically. Job streams. But those will all go away as I add them in. But there was no errors, just the warnings. So we will, yeah, I'm going to try that. Whoops, let me get that off of there. I'm going to try that again. So up here is the soy milk factory. And again, the water plane in this soy milk factory has temporarily been replaced just to get rid of the error. I need to find a water plane that you'll see what I did. I just replaced it with yeah, it doesn't look like water, but the texture had a shader error. So it looks like it's sand moving. The scroller's working, but the water itself isn't. So that will fix up. And the soy milk factory is right up here on the hill, which also has access right down to the main road right near where the tunnel is. And I think that was all the way around the map. So, literally, what I think I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to try to bring in, might as well do a little bit of showing you what has to go into it. I do have the uh, steel mill exported and into the map for finding a home for it. Well, I think we'll do that a little bit tonight, and you guys can see how long. Yeah, that'll take a little while, but we'll have to find a home for it. And then I also have the stone crusher ready to go in that factory as well, if we have time to do it. So that was pretty much the trip around the map as it is, but we do have some more things to get in there, and that's what we're going to do with this next part of the show is might as well do a little bit of work. And then you'll see how it all comes together. And we're back to where we started. So let's see. We'll park right here and we'll jump into my editor and we'll see what we could do. I want to get the steel mill in. I think the steel mill's ready. Basically, what I do with each of the factories is export them from version 15 into version, well, right into the map. I don't know who's disconnecting, but hey. I export them right into the map, and I've got them in my models folder here. But let's load up my map here for starters. Good night, JD Farmer. Thanks for the. I'll keep it up. I took a little bit of a break. Everybody needs one now and then, but it was to spend some time with my daughter, and it was fun. We had a lot of fun when she was here. Um, my schedule's pretty on the weekend of the 25th, so we'll be here a couple weeks, but that weekend I'm going away for my mom's 75th birthday party, and that'll be just the weekend. I'll probably maybe I'll do the show on Thursday night that week because I don't think we're leaving till Friday. But I'm not going to do the 3 times a week shows because I want to get this thing done, and we'll come back. There's a lot more to show you guys when I get this stuff in here. So I exported some of the extra factories right into my models folder. Let's see. We're looking for a steel factory. Did I bring out the steel? Maybe I didn't. I know I brought something in here. Looking, looking. If not, we'll go get it. Hops and props, greenhouses, fill plane. Da da da. I'm just checking to see if which ones we need. If they're not here, we'll go get them. Stone factory. That's the one right there. All right, so I exported it in 4 pieces. I have to put it together. So I'm going to load up. Actually, before I do that, I just brought it in the map. I want to exit back out because you see that there's some warnings down below, and we're going to take care of those before we import them in the map. So let me delete those again. Now, one thing that the old version didn't have that the new version. So we're going to go into the model itself. Whoops, models, Stone Factory, and I load up Stone Factory. The first one, I exported it in several pieces because it was easier. Let me move to where it is. Here we are. So that's one piece right there. Next, we're going to import Factory 2. Oh, let me undo that. Did it go in the same folder? Or it's just not? Yeah, I'm going to have to. So I got to reassemble this factory, believe it or not. Let me bring these buildings out. We're going to bring these in and then reassemble them in the map, but each of these pieces has to be put into place again because they were all separate. We'll just bring them over. For some reason, let's. I'm going to try doing it a different way. It's one of those things that it should have appeared right where I had it because that's the way I saved it, but sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to basically load it up and save each one of these individually so that the errors when I import them into the next map will not appear. Load them up in my 7.05 editor. This is one of the tough ones. That's why I didn't do it yet because it's so many pieces that were separate. Factory 3. I'm going to group these together because I can. And piece 4. Whoops. Group. Okay. We've got those. Those are all the buildings we got to find a place for. We will start with the basic building itself, which is the outline, and we'll import that, which is the factory 1 part, and then we'll have to, or this regular stone factory part, then we'll have to bring in everything individually afterwards, put it all together. 2cat5954, thank you for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to go find a place. Let's see what we got. We have all the fun stuff. The crushers there, these two. I'm going to group them together so they go together wherever I move them. That's all the workings for it. All the triggers are there and the basic outline. But we're going to try to find a place here, we'll rename the group once it comes up. Somewhere over by the mining we want to get this thing. Rename it. Now with putting them in groups like this, it's not always the easiest thing to, you see where the arrow is for the group? Way over here. When we slide it, we gotta kind of move it around from a distance, but we'll find a place. I think we have no room down here because we left all the, yeah, that will be this. It might fit in this corner. That's what I want to see. It probably won't, but if not, let's see what else we have over here. I think the best place would probably be right up here on the hill. I'm going to have to do a lot of modifying the land to get this sucker in here, but we'll make it happen. Let's see. I'm gonna spin it around. Bring it back over. Yeah, when you're working with everything grouped, whoops, I misclicked. That happens. Missed my arrow, then I gotta reselect it. The map right now is actually, it hasn't been optimized, but it's 1.31 gigabytes with all this stuff in it. I zipped it up to see how big it is. It's getting quite large, but I'll be able to get it down eventually. There's still so much more I want to bring in. We're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. All right, so I'm going to spin it around roughly so it's flush with the road when I get it there. The angle, which the road is not at a 90-degree angle, which makes it a little bit difficult, but I like the direction that it's facing better because of the way it's designed. Let's bring this over. 'Cause, Right about there looks like it'll work good. We'll need to do some landscaping, lots of it. But basically, I try to find a home like so. I'm going to pull it back a little bit further. I'm looking at the entrance, how much work I'm going to have to do to get the entrance. But we want to be able to get to. Here, let's see if I could bring this right to the top. We got to be able to bring the stones over and dump them in relatively easy. All right, I think that'll work right there. So every time I bring something in, it's highlighting a bunch of trees, clearing the area, leveling the land. Do I think by the do you think by the Dawson? What's a Dawson? I'm going to put this right here and then bring in the next piece and get it all up and running. But we got to clear the whole area and make it look right, which is the fun part. You can actually see the moving planes that go in those little containers that I have to bring in, all sorts of stuff. But you guys will get some type of idea on how much time it took me to get in each of these factories. Not all of them are this hard, but most of them did have to be cleared just like this from the trees, and then some of them had more pieces that had to be put back together. But definitely takes quite a bit of time just to even bring it in, and they're not. It won't even be functioning until I add the products in the map. But we have to clear out everything that's in the way. Which reminds me, which factory was it that I had a tree growing through? I have to go through each one of them because sometimes it's, I go through the buildings and oops, there's a tree. There's several of them that just need little tweaks here and there. We'll make a round through all of them and double check, make sure there's nothing growing through the walls. You can see the effects are working. Invalid convex cooking data in silo trigger. Looks like there's an invalid cooking, but that we'll figure it out later if it doesn't go away.
You check your OBS showing black screen.
Oh man, it's not for me. All right, let's see.
Now you back up again.
Okay, yeah, mine it was showing it. It's weird. OBS is having its issues.
No, circle of death now.
It was really. I've still got a picture.
Yeah, on your end it will. On this other end, it's not.
Is I wonder if everybody else is or let me see. I'll refresh. I'm still showing live. I mean, I'm watching it on the other
On your
monitor.
channel.
On the other monitor, yeah. My stream's up on the other monitor, and it's showing what I'm doing. So I have no idea. I have a picture still. About not as the frame rate isn't that great on it, but it never is when I'm broadcasting. But as long as I have a picture, everybody else should be able to see it, except for you. You might want to try to
I
refresh.
refreshed twice already now. Let's see. This is the second time. Let's see if it comes
Yeah,
back up.
Big Daddy said he's looking good, and Badzilla's not. Yeah, I think it's just you this time. It's just you, Viper. It's always you.
Struggling.
I'm gonna get rid of this tree because I'm gonna extend that gravel right over to the edge when we get it done. But yeah, one at a time tree deleting is never fun, but necessary. Then, once we clear all these out, we're gonna work on the inside of this and make it accessible and then bring in the other pieces that we want to add to it and alter the landscape and all that fun stuff. But we got to get all these out of here. So there's going to be definitely a lot fewer trees on the map. You might even actually be able to plant trees right at the beginning once we get everything out of here. But I'm going to try to make the forestry areas a little denser when we're done so that you still have plenty of trees on the map if we're running low because I don't even know how many cell points we're bringing in the map, but it's going to be quite a few and they'll take out some more trees too and the forests are thinning at a rapid pace with all this new addition stuff. So we'll get those out of there. Yeah, Giants editor saying uncle. Giants editor's been pretty good. It's the map is getting huge, so it's getting slower to do things, but sitting here waiting to do a tree for a tree to delete every you could see it spinning just to work, but that's because there's so many objects in this map. It's getting big, but it plays fine. That's the main thing. We got to make sure it plays good. At least it plays fine for me. And definitely there's going to be some major optimization that will help a lot because there's tons and tons of stuff I'm sure I can eliminate. Every time I export a factory separately like this and bring it into the map, if it's using the same texture, like say this cement texture on the walls is used somewhere else in the map, it brings in another full copy of that texture, which is not necessary. It's just relinking those textures to the original one and then just linking them all to the same one so that you're not loading 20 textures in the map instead of one. And also removing the extra images actually helps with the file size as well. Now, most of these factories have been optimized for oversized files already, so that step isn't going to save much, but some of the new stuff definitely is larger than it has to be. So we'll see what happens when we get to it. There's more. There's always seems like there's more. All right. Next step will be to get the ground to a level that I want it to be at inside the thing. Once I get these out of here, this one is not selecting. And it could be because, come on, you could do it. There it goes. And there's one in the wall over here. We'll have to remove some from the other side of the wall because this is where we're going to back up with the Hujima thingy, the loader to dump the stones in right up on this end. So we don't want trees in the way of that process. So all those come out and then we'll be ready to do some work. The little mining cars, yeah, those. I had actually thought about putting those in the rivers map, but I couldn't figure out how to get them to work. One of them would have to be an engine of some sort, but yeah, they would have been cool to, like with the ones where you pull the handle, the old trains from last year, put the mining carts on it so you fill them up and then just pull the handle and have them sent. That would be kind of cool. All right, let's get back to down below here. What I'm going to do is grab the, I like to use a square brush sometimes. Uh, Grab the ground height, which is right here, and I'm going to go down until I find out how far I want it down. So we'll take one off at a time. I'm trying to find the bottom of the wall. It's not too far down. I think that's it right there. Yeah, it is. All right, so let's bring it up just a little bit so that the bottom is covered. All right. Now I have to, I'm going to get rid of the grass. It makes it so hard to see with the grass in here. Here, let's get a bigger, clear my, oh, there's a tree still in the wall. We'll get that out of there. Get my grass out of here. Get my tree out of the wall. And then it'll be easier to see as we level the inside. Bring the level down of the ground in here without that grass on top. But you could see how I get bumps. You know, it's so hard to see just the changes sometimes that it's very easy to miss a small spot and not catch it until you're in the map driving over it. So we'll bring that down. This here is going to be brought down. so we can see my stone crusher. Smaller. Whoops, wrong button. Okay. I'm gonna go back a little further with this. About halfway, whoops. About halfway back. So when I get in here with my, we'll turn it to smooth and then just build a ramp that drives right down in. And we should be able to get underneath that. Let's start by, we're gonna need to remove a couple trees out here for the back entrance and some grass. Hey BDBSSB, how you doing tonight? All right. With that, we can now start our, oh, let me get the grass out of here too, because I'm going to make this go right up to the edge here. It's going to all be connected. Now we will go back to gravel and add it in. I'm going to bring that right there. Now it'll show you every little grass spot I missed, which we'll go back and get them. Like that one. Need to do a little more grass off that corner. Then it's just coloring in the lines right now. We can add some extra detail down the road, which we probably will, but right now I just want to get the basics in and make sure everything's lined up. So we're gonna, I mean, I don't care for the straight gravel texture without doing a little bit of something in it to make it look like there's actually been driving in here. So we'll do a little bit of that in a few minutes. We'll just get this done. That might be a problem with the hill there. We'll have to check it out by driving it. It's a pretty steep incline. May have to do a little bit of editing with that. I don't know how it will be getting up there with a load of stuff. A load of stone. Wrong button. Over here. Because that's a pretty steep drop right there. Let's see about smoothing it down a little bit. Take a little bit away. Smooth it out. It's a little bit better. And then we got to fix all this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a point where it's right at the height I want it to be. Grab that height. Then get my replace tool and make this a little bit smaller. and just, all right, we're going to have to take away a little bit. Let's bring it down just a little more just to finish up the edge a little bit. And we're going to have factory buildings in here eventually, so we'll worry about that later when I see exactly how I want it to go. But we'll clean this up. And I'm going to take out all this grass because this is going to be one big ramp right down here for driving the stones down from the other side. We'll move this one out too. Got to give people enough room. Taper down from the road. Yeah, I did a little bit. Now it's tough to get close to the road. We'll see how it is. It did look steep. It is pretty steep, but yeah, I'll go back to that. The thing is, I don't want to have too much of a difference. It's actually not too bad now. It is still, yeah, you're right. It's still a little bit steep right there. So you gotta, here, we'll do a little bit more. Extend out to the edges. You need to be very careful with not messing with the meeting up with the road. I took out some more, and when you, well, that'll do it. It's tricky. It's okay to, I think it might be pretty good. It's a little bit, we'll see how it is when we get in there. That's why I left it off the road a little bit in the first place, so when we get, so we could have a little bit of room. All right. Replace. We're going to bring this whole area right up to the road for driving down in. And we obviously don't need that light post anymore. And we'll take out this one. Okay. That is just the bait. Actually, we can, I think, I want to do a little bit on the other side as well once I get able to move. Just seems like there should be at least a little bit more off that side. I never know exactly if I like it until I get in there and check it out myself in the game. But it's looking close to where I want it to be. Now, that is the Stone Factory Part 1, which is the basic part. Now we have, I don't even know if I need the buildings. I do want to get the one part that goes in over here. But the buildings down here, maybe we'll stick them around. We'll see. Let me go to bring in another piece. This one here. And what I'm going to do is group those four together so I can move them together. Come on, group. Why didn't it group? I'm waiting. I'm always waiting for this thing. Not responding. It happens all the time. Make a funnel type for the rock crusher. You can say keep rolling, rolling, rolling rocks. Yeah, you could almost, if I lowered it just a little bit, you could roll them down the hill into it. But boy, that'd make a mess. It's trying to select these. There. All right, they're selected. Group. Thank you. National Gypsum is in the map. Yep. I didn't see that. I'm trying to keep up, but that's why we need the gypsum. I might take out the lime. I don't think we need another fertilizer type right now. I might take out the lime. Those editing of the products will come in time. Figure out exactly what we want to do. But we definitely need the calcium carbonate and the gypsum for the factories that are in here. The other one would be lime and what was the fourth one? I can't remember. Anybody remember? We'll know when I get the labels in. All right. Let's find that group and bring it over. Turn this off. Where is it? It's right there. And it has to go. Whoops. Thing about grouping things, they group on center, but they can be so far away. The point, and it's just a matter of working it in to place. Oh, we're not over there. We're over here, which is fine. It needs to be turned a little bit more. And bring it up. And let me check something out here. Go back. I think we just want to go a little. Yeah, we definitely got to go to the right a little bit. Just a little more to fill that gap, and we should be good. They're all lined up where they were. All right. So that's part two of this mess. Let's go see if what's in part three. Any chance of making more room where the greenhouses are? It would take some overhauling of the whole area, which has been on my mind, but I want to get the stuff done that we're doing, get the new stuff in before we go back and reconstruct anything. Now these bins are have a shader texture that I already fixed once. So what we're going to do is, whoops, get them over to where they were supposed to be. Yeah, we might go back and do that stuff at some point, but it's not going to happen until we get everything in. And to be honest with you, like I said, I'm not going to do a map for the mod contest this year. We're going to be working on this one for a little while anyway, and it won't leave enough time for the mod contest. But also, I'm at the point where I think I want to, after this map is done and we release it to you guys, I think I'm going to take a break from new maps with this. I think we're just going to stick around and keep tweaking and do those things like extend the greenhouse areas and just maybe add new thing here or there rather than going into a whole new map again. I've been doing this for so many years. I want to get back and actually play a few games too myself. So, not going to go anywhere per se, but I don't think I'm going to start any new projects right away. Maybe down the road, like next winter, because we do have a whole new year. But for the summer, I'm planning on having this done and not having to come back to it for a little. I mean, not done, but not starting a whole new project that ties me up for the whole summer. Now, this is going to be tricky because we need to get. Let me see if I can grab the rotation off the group behind it. Actually, I should grab it right off the Stone Factory, the rotation. Because if I get the right rotation, I should get them to line up with the planes that are supposed to go in them. So we'll grab the Y rotation on this group.
That one gave us about $44,000.
What? Somebody gave you $44,000?
Oh, wrong page.
Thanks. I see that I do have the thing sticking through that last one a little bit. Okay. So if I grab that rotation and put it on this, I believe we'll get the right rotation that I need to slide this into place. See that? How that works? Now, whoops. Got a little sticky button there. I'm going to raise it up because the legs are, I believe, I gotta get, yeah, okay, we're gonna do this manually too. Basically, the plane inside him, right there, hides as I raise it minus 67. So it'll be in the base of it, not below it or above it, but in the base of it, and that looks like it's good. Not quite, because there's a little piece showing through on that on them right there. All right, so a little bit. Let's go to 66.9. There you are. The feet are resting on their little things. Is it floating just a little bit? Yeah, we'll bring it down just a little. close enough for government work. All right. So as I was saying, these bins here are not colored correctly. I had to fix one. It's a shader issue. You can see I got a failed shader error right here. What I'm going to do is edit, replace, and then go find the one that I worked on earlier, which is over at. All right, we're going to have to resize. It's 1.7.1. I'm going to keep physics attributes and user attributes on the old one and bring this one and replace it and see what happens. This one was blown up for this purpose, but we'll see if it works. If it's too big, I just got to shrink it down, but it is the right one with the right textures. So I'm going to just select this one as a target
Yeah.
and do it for all four of them. All right, so we've got those in. Now I did notice this last one has the pipe sticking through on it. I'm going to just drag that one over just a little bit to hide the pipes. It'll work. And one more piece done. You can name these groups. You can group them all together or whatever. Yeah, but I'm going to leave them like that. We got one more group that is the outer buildings. We'll see what we can utilize for them around this thing to make it look a little bit better. And let's see what we got here. One thing, if I kept it, the rotation, use the same rotation as before, it'll bring it right into place. We'll see how it looked on the other map and see if we can make it work in this landscape. Or if I want to do something a little different. I don't know. I don't think these are necessary, but we'll see what we can, how it looks when we bring them over. Oops. Every time oh, we got a stray building over there in the distance too. Gonna have to take that one out of this group. That happens. So this is where I'm gonna have to do a little work on the outside of this if I want to put these in. They were raised up on the last map and they're not on this one. So I don't know if I want them in there or not. I'd have to cut out for them. I don't think I'm going to use them. I think I'm going to just leave them out because it's too close to the railroad track. They're supposed to be up flush with the top of this, but it's not necessary. And I think that we can save some resources by just leaving the little stone crushing facility the way it is. and make it easier on myself so we can get on to the next thing. All right. So I'm going to go in. There seems like there should be downpipes right here that I missed. Something is missing right here. We got to fix that. So let's save this and go back another map and see what piece I missed and grab it. And then we'll go in once we get this done and drive in there and see what happens. Now, all it's going to do is not have the products. Once I enter the products in the map, these things get to work, but entering the products in the map isn't always a piece of cake, especially with ones that go in tippers. Got to add the fill planes, got to add the particle effects, and all the fun stuff for each one of them. So it gets to be kind of a pain, but it will be done. And then the factory information has to be entered in so that it appears in the menu correctly. But once we get them all in, we'll be good to go. All right, saved. I'm going to minimize that. And you notice there's pieces that I leave behind that we didn't use. That's stuff that when I re-export the map will disappear and also lower the file size. Go into my PV rivers and load that one up in the 6.05 editor. And we'll find that piece. There's definitely looks like there's a piece missing. And I want to check before I close this editor and see if I grabbed the steel factory. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. Probably because it's another one of those ones that's several buildings and you can't group them together easily in the 6.05 editor from last year. I wish they'd just add the group function like the other one, and I could easily highlight the things and pull them out. Loading, please wait. All right. So what do we have left? We have this whole warehouse here that when we get to, we could bring back in for central storage. There's tons of stuff, lots of shops that we can bring in. I'm going to go down here. I'm looking at, oh, there was one more of these things. Well, that's easy enough because I can copy one that's over there. I don't have to import another one. See how these were actually standing up high on this version, and I don't have enough room near the railroad tracks, so I'm not going to worry about them. Let's see what else we have. All the farms have to be redone with the garages. I don't think, other than the steel factory. Let's go grab, while we're in here, the block factory can come in. That's a fabric script item. I'm not going to worry about it until I know what I'm going to do because we don't necessarily need blocks. We're not building anything. All right. First things first, I'm going to grab the steel factory. This is the workings for the script set. Everything that's in the script set is right there. Your triggers and the steel and the drop spots, they're all going to have to be moved. So this one's going to, I'm probably not going to finish this one tonight, but all of these are going to have to be moved into new locations. This is just such a interesting setup that, so what I do is I just go to export all, we'll go to models, we'll create a new folder and call it steel factory, and then I'll export that into there. That is done. Thank you, Corey0027, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Now it's getting all the other pieces of this factory into where we want it to go. So we've got separate buildings. I got to find out which one's 23, 19, 18. Let's see if these three. Those three right there. We'll export that out. And we want to get the sign, the gas can, and all this fencing around here with in the yellow box. Those pieces will be good. I'm not going to worry about the pipes down there because they're going to be. All right, so gas tank LOD. Let's see. I'm just going to export the sign. Export my gas station. And this fence. This is building and all the fence. Let's see what we got. That's 34 plus all these pieces. All these 32s. Let's go down to the end of the 32 list. It's everything in there? I think it is. This group, which will make it real easy. All right. And there's some more fence in here too. So that group there, and I'm not going to worry about that other fence because I have some in the map. I'll make it work when I get it. So I'm going to export that as the fence. Let me try closing this out. I'm going to try what I tried before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's go back to our folder where we have a steel factory and open up steel factory i3D. All right. See, I moved it. I don't, yeah, let me do that again. I'm trying to fly to it, not move it. Open it up in 7.05. There it is. Okay, I think that's what the difference is. I think you couldn't fly to it in the last one. Let me highlight everything here. See where everything is. So we've got our steel. Yep, that's exactly how it was in there. All right, so if I bring in the other ones, let's see if it goes into the right place. Steel 2. Where are they? Nope, they did not. Let's put them into. All right, we're going to have to do those separately as well. They're in a whole different area. Yeah, highlight the transform group and then hit F to focus. It does. It does do that in 7.05, but in last year's it actually moved the object to you. That's where I was getting messed up. See, I can go. So these are nowhere near where they got to be. We're going to have to piece those in. So we're going to delete them. We'll just save each group again, piece it all together when we get back in there. And you'll notice as I open these up, the reason why I'm resaving them in the 7.05 editor is because they all open up with invalid triangle cooking data errors that once you save them, they're fixed. So we'll get the sign in and save that. And the fence. Oh, and the gas can. Yeah, make a new transform. Oh, yeah, if I make a new transform group and drop them all into the transform group, you're probably right. I think that would work. Let me give it a try. It should. Let's do it, because I am not changing the coordinates. So let's give that a whirl. You are correct. I'm not thinking straight. It's been a long day. I'm doing this all day. All right. Let's take this, cut it, and paste it into our transform group and go to where it is. Now let's import steel 2. Did it go in? Where the heck are they? No, they didn't put it in the same place. Oh well. We'll just piece it together when we get there because they are in the transform group, but yeah, no big deal. Okay, I'm not going to get that far today anyway. I want to go into the map that's open, get that one piece on the end. We use in one of these, duplicate it. And actually, wasn't there an extra one in the map? Didn't we say there was an extra one floating around somewhere? I think there was. I'll have to look. But it just gave me something to cap off the end here where the pipes come out and make it look like it actually goes into the machine. Let's see how straight we are. Pretty good. Okay. So we'll put that one there. Raise it up. It's buried in the ground. That looks better. All right. Let me just check that group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, there's 5. I think I deleted it. All right. I'm going to save this up and go inside and drive that hill, see what it's like. Yeah, copy them and paste them in the transform group. Yeah, I can put them in a transform. I'm not going to worry. I'll just drag them over all together like I did this one, piece it together when I get there. I don't even know where that's going to go yet. But I want to check this out. Oh, actually, yeah. We'll wait till it saves. I want to go in and see how that hill is. I do have a failed to. That's right. I'm going to exit out and load this back up too because that shader compile error should be gone with the replacement of the boxes so they're working. Saving, saving. So we'll close that, load it up, drive over there, see how it looks in game. And I think I should grab one of the big trucks. I got to make sure that we have clearance underneath the pipes and everything to get back and forth. So, load up the map. I even have the universal process kit, which isn't functioning for anything, but it's still installed in my folder. To be honest with you, I haven't looked at it lately to see if he's been working on it. I have to check that out. It could be fixed right now, but it didn't seem like he was doing anything. So I stopped looking. You still use the desktop fences? That's awesome. I love that program. It makes it so much easier. All right, let me grab one of the big trucks. Well, we'll get few more dollars. I want to grab the biggest one, I think, but I hate the color. We might as well put a tipper on it, and then we'll head over and see if we can get that in there. Actually, I'm going to swing by the ore and see if that's working or if I messed something up. Because it was working. I might have just been off the trigger or something a little bit. I have no idea. We'll figure it out. See if we can get some ore out of that thing or coal. Yep, I love the fences. It keeps my desktop. Oh man, my desktop would be a disaster. Because I'm one of those people that saves everything to desktop. It all goes to, but now it goes into whatever window I want to save it to. We've got floating objects still. They're things that the hangars and stuff, they're all going to be brought down and put into place on the farms when we get there. As well as we have the hiding items on the map as well, which ought to be interesting on this map. And mud. We got to mud up this place. Gonna make it so that the dirt roads, some of the not necessarily the ones around it, but dirt roads that get you shortcuts from one place to the other will have mud on them a little bit to slow you down if you're taking those shortcuts. So you'll stay to the highways when you want to get places fast. But I don't want to make it. I mean, I like the mud. Maybe we'll do some in the forestry areas, but I don't want to make it so it's frustrating as can be. I like it to slow you down, but not get you completely stuck all the time. Yeah, the Goodyear blimp. Remember the animals we had too? The cows, the extra cows, sheep, and the horses running around, the cat and dog. Those very possibly can come in as well. I have to check those out. See if we can get those guys running around. Add some more life to the map in certain areas. But first, it's getting everything else in where we have room. Get the functioning stuff. Functioning stuff first. The gold nuggets are not on multiplayer, but this one here, that's another feature we have to. On the last map, there are gold nuggets. They're only done in single player. This one here, we have to re-add them all in so that they're on the map and can be found. And it'll work like it did in Rivers. I don't know if they worked in multiplayer, but they definitely let you get coin. They just have to be repositioned. Yep, get all the major factories in. That's the first step, and they're almost all here. Got to figure out where we're going to put the steel factory. That one I can reconfigure quite a bit. So actually, that right down here on the left would be kind of a cool spot for it. It's pretty flat. It could go in right there. right across from this mud stuff. See, the will slow you down, but you're not going to get stuck in it on this road. Now, if you come in from the other end where it's gravel, you won't have even be slowed down. But I want to check this out one more time and see if it was me or if it is bugged. It didn't throw an error. It's almost like it just stopped. Let's see if it gets the ore in here this time. Slow down my time. The saw is still moving. I can see it off there in the corner. It's cutting and it's filling. So it is working. I don't know what happened last time. I probably was not centered enough on the trigger. But I did want to get a full load of this because it'll weigh about the same as the other stuff, and I want to see if I can get in that ramp up that hill with it. You could probably dump sand or gravel in the mud puddles. Heh, it probably would work. I never even thought about that. Maybe we'll do that little test. I could do a test. We'll get some sand and that'd be kind of cool. So here we are. You can get all four products back here, but I wanted to see. I might extend that out a little bit so it's not cutting the corners. And you can see it's not level. That's what I'm talking about. How you can go back and forth in that editor all you want, but until you're in here, you don't catch the little area right here by this little hill that I've missed. Right down this side has to be leveled down, which we'll get back in there and do. But I want to see what's up with the other side here. Make sure we can get underneath it and get up it. Gotta clean up that edge. See if it's bumpy. It looks like there might be a little ridge in there. That's pretty good. Pretty good. As long as you can. Oh yeah, it's a tough one. It's gonna be tough with a full load. It's look at the front tires spinning. Yeah, you can get up it just barely. Look at the front ends off the ground. I could also make the other products a little bit lighter than ore. Ore is really heavy, but there's not much room to. But there's plenty of headroom, so I could make the ramp go a little bit further too. Yeah, a double trailer might be a trick, but the weight itself, I'm gonna get a running start this time. Actually, you could go right out the. See, coming down, that's true too. Um, you don't have to come in and out this way. But if you had a running start like I did there, you'll be fine. You'll get up a little bit faster. Let's try it the other way. So if you were down there and you filled up, you can come in from across the street, drive down in off the highway, go over to your triggers, fill up your products, go out this side, and then use this road over here, which is a little bit more gradual than the other side. And it's only just down a little ways. So yeah, it'll work. It'll work. And that's with a full load. You'll be able to get around it pretty good. Might be able to get. So there you go. We can go round in circles. I'm gonna get back in there and fix those few things. But did you guys want to see if we can put some sand into a hole or gravel? See what happens. Let's see if I can. Let's park this over here, and I'll get a loader, grab some sand, and see if we can dump it on the mud and what happens with it. Just curious. So we'll park this here near the mud, and I'm just kind of curious of what's going to happen. Let's get a. No, we don't want a. We want a wheel loader, and we'll grab the JCB and the shovel. Where is it? Oh, right there. Okay. We'll go over and grab some of that gravel. Then we'll dump it in the mud. Whoops, I thought I hooked up. Not quite. Hit the wrong button. There we go. I'm gonna try it out. I like to mess with these things. See if we can make a bridge to cross it out of sand or gravel. We'll do it with the gravel. It's gonna be a little drive, but we'll get there. Let's go through town the back way. We'll go up through the middle. Now, yeah, I need to teleport. I have the teleport mod. I just haven't installed it correctly. That's how lazy I am. It's, I think, needs to have the file name fixed or something. That's it. And then it'll work. Where am I going? I want to go up this way. Yeah, we'll go that. We'll go out the back. The top. The north side. Now, unfortunately, the center is so packed in with fields and everything that I wasn't able to. We'll probably put some extra cell points in the middle, but factories are going to pretty much be on the outside of the map because they're so big. Some of them are huge. I forgot actually how big they were. And rather than spending months on this thing recreating them, I figured we'd just get them in. So I mean, they're good. They're good designs, most of them. But I would like to definitely get some of the cell points toward around the middle of the map. It's going to be interesting how that's all going to work out. Where am I going? Is what road am I on? Oh, I got to go this way. I never go through the map center. I always go around the outside. But figuring out where things like the bale storage is going to go, I mean, I want it to be down near the cow farm somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to put it down by the main warehouse area or if I'm going to try to find a place down by the main farm or maybe put it central. Yeah, all those things I got to decide where they're going to fit and squeeze them in. I went the wrong way. That's the road I want over there. We're heading in the right direction. Just the long way around. Yeah, we'll have several sell points, that's for sure. I'd like to get uh, Big Daddy to work on a box truck for the train, a tipper that we can add stuff to. It's going to be tricky with that. I think we could add it to regular carts without a fill plane. I have to run a lot of tests on moving stuff around because I'd like to be able to sell some of the factory stuff at on the trains as well. We could definitely put a flatbed trailer. Did I just lose my stream again? My screen went black. I don't know if it's me or if it's you. You found a placeable sell point? Yeah. I'm just waiting. I hope you guys still got my video feed. If you don't, then no, maybe, yeah. We're just driving right now. I'm still good. Okay. Don't know why. Just went black on my end. But we're going to finish up pretty soon anyway. Been a couple out. We're going to do this little test, but we will be back next. Oh, geez. This is quite the hill to get this thing up. We're going to do the gravel test, and then I'll be back next Friday with an update, and we'll see how far we've got. We'll hopefully have all the factories in and fully functional when we get to that point. And hopefully, who knows, we might even get some extra stuff. There's only so many hours in a day, and I use about late, the last few, 10 to 12 of them, just to get this up and running. But I like the way it's coming out. We definitely have more land to expand. And it's definitely a different look than the rivers map, which was so wide open. And that's because we had all the trees in here to begin with. And I'm just adding the things in and leaving the landscape untouched as much as possible. So it still has that same country feel with the factories popping in different places off the main roads. And I kind of like it. Thanks, KW, for all your hard work out there, too. We're going to give the dirt a test. Also, I got to get the stones in. That was already in. I took it out. I dropped that back in the map, and we'll be able to create our stones and then bring them across to the crusher and crush them down into those additional products. Has anybody seen the lime mod out there with the lime spreaders? That's a good question because I mean, it can be added. It's that easy to make lime. Just add the product in. But I haven't seen anybody using the lime mod. I haven't seen it myself, but I haven't been looking around as much. That's for sure. So let's get some gravel. Whoa. And head back across the street to where the dirt is and see if we can fill it in. Now, one other thing to make note of is because of the limit of how many fill types are on the map, those four new fill types, the ore, stone, salt, and coal, you cannot dump. You will always be able to dump sand, gravel, and silt because they're picked up off the map loose. But the new ones, you won't be able to dump them in piles, as with most of the fill types. When we get done with the map, we'll decide which extra ones and we'll make sure we use them all, but I'm not going to put them in right now. We can add piles. Don Diego has lime. And is there good lime spreaders out there? That's the other thing. That is the question. All right, so we're going to go through here with my. Try not to dump my shovel. Whoa! Yeah, you should slow down when you're doing this. End up having to go back. Got to fix up my edge of my wall, and I want to put some, just a little bit of dirt mixed in with the gravel so it doesn't look so clean. I did a little bit of the stone over here. You can see how I just did little spots to make it look a little bit, you know, just not clean, not fake. Just spatter of another texture in there will make it look a lot better. And same way with the ore on the walls. We'll probably do a little bit with that eventually too. All right, so we have to dump in, let me see, I'm going to pick this spot right here. It looks small enough to see if we can cover it up. Can we even dump on it? There we are. All right. Well, we could tell right now with this vehicle, can we drive across it? Yeah, you can. Now, you could see you're going to have to, yeah, you can make your whole road and fill them in. That's kind of cool. No effect where that mud was. Check that out. So if you wanted to get crazy, you can build yourself a gravel road and fill in your mud spots. Kind of cool. I imagine you can, even if you're really crazy and want to clean up the edges, you can try to be, yeah, you can pick some up, move it around, make your roads all nice. Make your own gravel roads over the mud. That'll be a chore for you guys, but it's doable. You can make a corn road or any other product. It's gonna spread pretty thin, but there you go. Yeah, let's go get one more load. I want to see how well it holds up. It's pretty cool. It would be better, yeah, we could bring a truck and just drive it through and just keep spreading it out, and you'll have your own gravel road through there. But I'll grab one more shovel full. It just made Bads happy. Flashbacks of PV fences with the potholes. Ah, yeah, somebody was working on a paver. I thought I heard, but I haven't seen it yet. That would be really cool. The mud made Bads happy. So yeah, those of you that get sick and tired of the mud, I know that just means I can put it everywhere. Just give you more work to do. If you get sick and tired of the mud, you can fill it in. He always wants something else. But yeah, with the factory, I could tell a little bit of frame drops. Yeah, we're still at 40 up through here with the factories, and this is a busy area with the stone crusher. Now, we didn't do really too much with the stone stuff, but if you look in my list, uh, you'll see the stone processing facility is there. We just don't have the output products added. So from here, whoops, where am I going? I went right. Where is the stone? It's over this way, isn't it? Or is it down? I don't even remember where things are. No, it's down this way. Yeah. Isn't it? Is it down here? Did I pass it? I have no idea. I'm lost on my own. I think it's over here. Down the road a little ways. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just a matter of adding the products in, and then these will fire right up. We'll be able to make our three products. That's just a bunch of lines in the XML files. and adding the products in the mod description, and we'll be good. Adding the fill planes to tippers for those products, that it needs to be done as well. One more load. Now I gotta also decide. I think that the stone will be back in that corner over there, and you'll have to drive down the road a little ways to get them. But you can put them in trailers and stuff. Bring them over to the crusher. Got to look at that cat too. The old 990, I think, or the 97. No, the bigger cat loader. One of them, not the huge one. Your brain is clicking like crazy with a way to build shortcut roads. You can do it. You can build your own roads. And whoa, I'm driving like Viper. That hill with this bucket, without a weight on the back, is kind of a little bit much. Probably going to expand this area out a little bit more too, so it's more flush with the edge of that opening. Just to give you some more room to bring vehicles, maybe put a couple garages back here. It's all, the mining area is all still in the beginning. Just got the functions first, then we'll make it look prettier. The 994, yeah, I think it was the 994. All right, so just wanted to finish up my little dirt spot. My gravel, you can drive across it. Now imagine that over time, riding on this might spread it out enough so that you can, I don't know if it will, but yeah, it definitely keeps you out of the mud. It might spread out over time where the mud starts poking through if you keep driving over it, because but it could stay. Yeah, that, looking good. Well, there you have it. Make your own gravel road, and you won't have to deal with the mud if you don't want to. Pretty neat. But boy, when you hit the mud, you know it. Now, awesome. Which reminds me, I wonder, I'm going to do one more quick test before we log off for the evening, and that is I want to grab myself a tractor, and a pretty good one at that. Let's see. Yeah, we'll get this one. And I want to go to forestry and buy myself the tree planter. And I want to get myself a pallet of trees, I believe. I'm wondering if the amount of trees I took off the map will allow us to plant right away. There's still going to be more coming off, but I'm just curious if we're still over that limit or if we're now below it. So let's check it out. Uh, where's the tractor I bought? Didn't I buy a tractor? Here. Usually it appears last in the list. Let me buy another one. Maybe I didn't buy one. You don't have enough money. That's what it was. I didn't see that. I'm going too fast. Let me get money. I didn't. There. Now we got it. I didn't realize I was broke. So if I hit tab, there we go. Just curious if trees can be planted yet, or if we got to remove a lot more. If you're familiar with planting trees on the map, there's too many on the map to start with, so you have to cut a lot. I just want to see if we're below that amount or if we're still above it. Let me see. Where can I plant? I think there's property out here. We can put real potholes in. There is a tree limit on how many you can have planted on a map at once. Yes. But my map starts with so many that nobody could plant trees until they cut a whole bunch. I don't know how it's working now with the number of trees I've had to remove for the factories, but there's still going to be a lot more coming off. My guess is we might get it down to a point where you actually could plant trees right at the beginning, but we're going to go off here and see what happens. V and turn on B. Nope, too many trees. Please cut some down first. So we still can't do the trees until we get rid of some more. Well, that question's answered. We'll see if we ever get to that point. There's a ton of trees on here. I don't know what their limit is. See, that's cool though. If we had potholes on this map, you could actually fill them and just leave them. They won't deplete, but they would actually fill up so you could get past them with the gravel. Don't give me any more ideas. Big Daddy, where you been? You got to get in here. We haven't seen you in a few days. I haven't seen you because I was gone last week. It's been a couple weeks since he's been in here. Or he might have been here, but since I've talked to him, and he's usually giving me those bad ideas. You can blame them all on him if there's a bunch of potholes in the map when it comes out that you guys got to fill in. It's all his fault. So, so it's not my problem if I end up putting them in. It was all his idea. Anyhow, yeah. So next Friday I'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern time if things don't change, and we will get back here and hopefully have all the factories up and running with none of these uh, warnings, which are just create a load object is invalid save ID. All right, yeah, you see job stream. Limestone's not registered. Carbonite, caulk, which is lime, and gypsum. All these are just products that aren't registered. I will be working on all of those. Fill types not in the fill triggers. There's just a few each factory. And then when they're gone, we get to move on and put the steel factory in. So that's going to be it for this evening. Thank you guys for watching and putting up with this stream going down and up and down. And we'll get back to you next Friday. And yeah, have a great weekend. And thanks again to 2cat5954 for the donation and for the new follow by Corey0027. And thanks again, KW, for all your help. We'll catch you all later.